This is your everyday English class.
Hello, welcome to English Cactus. My name is Anna.
And my name is Brian. This podcast will help you practice your English in a fun and natural way, improving your listening skills.
Let's be honest, many people think they are ready for an online job interview, but when the moment comes, they feel nervous, confused, and sometimes they don't know what to say.
And here is something important. You don't need perfect English to do well in an interview. You need clear communication, confidence, and the right phrases.
If you already felt nervous before speaking English in a real situation, this episode is for you.
Today, we are going to talk about tips for an online job interview. This is something very useful because more and more companies are using online interviews.
So relax. You don't need to understand everything the first time. Just listen, enjoy the conversation, and learn step by step.
After the dialogue, we will explain the most important phrases, vocabulary, and cultural tips. It will become much easier to understand.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support is very important to us, and you won't miss any new episodes.
Also, tell us in the comments, where are you from?
Now grab your coffee, relax,
and let's begin.
Hey Sarah, I have an online job interview tomorrow, and honestly, I'm a bit nervous.
That's completely normal, Lucas. Online interviews can feel a little strange, especially the first time. But don't worry, you're doing great already by preparing.
Thanks. I really want this job, so I don't want to make mistakes. Do you have any tips for me?
Of course. Let's go step by step. First, let's talk about your internet connection. Did you check it already?
Not really. I mean, I use it every day, so I think it's fine.
I think is not enough for an interview. Always test your connection before. Try a video call with a friend, or even record yourself.
Oh, that's a good idea. I can call my brother later and test everything.
Perfect. Also, check your microphone and camera. Make sure people can hear you clearly.
Right. Sometimes my microphone is a bit low.
Then speak clearly and maybe get closer to the mic. Small things like this make a big difference.
Got it. What about the place? I'm planning to do the interview in my bedroom.
That's okay, but make sure it's quiet and organized. No noise, no distractions.
My dog sometimes barks.
Then try to keep him in another room during the interview. You want a calm environment.
Good point. And the background, is that important?
Yes, very important. Keep it clean and simple. A white wall or a tidy room is perfect.
So no messy bed behind me?
Exactly. No messy bed. It doesn't look professional.
I'll clean everything today then.
Great. Now let's talk about lighting. This is something many people forget.
Yeah, I never think about that.
Sit in front of a window if you can. Natural light is the best. Don't sit with the light behind you.
Why not?
Because your face will be dark and the interviewer won't see you well.
Oh, that makes sense. I'll sit near the window.
Perfect. Now let's talk about clothes. What are you planning to wear?
I was thinking about a t-shirt. It's online, so I thought it was okay.
I wouldn't recommend that. Dress like it's a real interview. A shirt is a better option.
Even if they only see the top part?
Yes, and honestly, I suggest dressing fully, not just the top.
Why fully?
Because it changes your mindset. When you dress well, you feel more confident and professional.
That's true. When I wear a nice shirt, I feel different.
Exactly. Confidence is key. Now let's talk about how you speak.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about my English. What if I make mistakes?
It's okay to make mistakes. The important thing is to communicate clearly.
So I don't need perfect English?
No, not at all. Speak slowly, use simple words, and be clear.
Okay. And what if I don't understand something?
That's very common. You can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that, please?" Or, "Can you say that again a bit slower?"
That sounds polite.
Yes, always be polite. It shows respect and professionalism.
I like that. I'll practice those sentences.
Great idea. Also, don't be afraid to take a small pause before answering.
Really? I thought I needed to answer quickly.
No, it's better to think for a moment and give a good answer.
That's a relief.
Another important tip is smile.
Smile? Even in a job interview?
Yes, it makes you look friendly and confident.
I usually forget to smile when I'm nervous.
Then practice. Look at yourself in the camera and smile. It feels strange at first, but it works.
I'll try that. What about eye contact?
Good question. In online interviews, you should look at the camera, not the screen.
That feels weird.
I know, but it creates eye contact for the interviewer.
Wow, I didn't know that. I always look at the screen.
Most people do, but this small change can improve your communication a lot.
Okay, I'll practice looking at the camera.
Now let's talk about your answers. Did you prepare anything?
Not really. I don't know what to say.
Let's start with a common question. Tell me about yourself.
Oh no, that question again.
Yes, everyone asks that, but you can prepare a simple answer.
Like what?
Talk about your education, your experience, and your goals.
So maybe I studied marketing and I have experience in social media.
Yes, that's perfect. Then you can add something like, I enjoy working with people and learning new skills.
That sounds good, simple and clear.
Exactly. No need for complicated words.
What other questions should I expect?
They may ask, why do you want this job?
I can say, because I like the company?
That's a start, but you can be more specific. For example, I like your company because you focus on innovation and teamwork.
Oh, that sounds better.
Yes, always give a reason.
What about strengths?
You can say things like, I am organized, I am responsible, or I learn fast.
And should I give examples?
Yes, for example, I am organized. I always plan my tasks and meet deadlines.
That makes it stronger, right?
Exactly. Examples show real experience.
What about weaknesses? That question scares me.
That's normal. Choose something simple and show that you are improving.
Like what?
For example, sometimes I am shy, but I am working on speaking more in meetings.
That's honest.
Yes, honesty is important.
This is really helpful. I feel more prepared now.
I'm happy to hear that. Now, one more important thing. Be on time.
Oh, yes, of course.
Actually, be early. Join the call 5 or 10 minutes before.
Good idea. I don't want to be late.
Exactly. Being late creates a bad impression.
True. What about after the interview?
Good question. You can send a short thank you message.
Really?
Yes, something like, thank you for your time. It was great to talk with you.
That sounds very professional.
It is. It shows appreciation and interest.
I like that. I'll do it.
Great. And remember, even if it doesn't go perfectly, it's okay.
Yeah, I guess it's part of learning.
Exactly. Every interview is practice. You learn something new every time.
That makes me feel better.
Keep going, Lucas. You're doing great. Study English every day and learn something new.
I will. I really want to improve.
And you will. Just stay consistent.
Thanks, Sarah. I feel much more confident now.
That's what I wanted to hear.
After the interview, I'll tell you everything.
Deal. I'm sure you'll do amazing.
Thanks so much.
No problem. Good luck. You've got this.
Wow, that was a really interesting story. Lucas was nervous, but he prepared very well.
Yes, and that's exactly our goal here. We always try to bring you real situations to help you learn English in a natural way.
Now, let's break everything down. First, we are going to explain some useful phrases from the dialogue. After that, we'll talk about vocabulary. And finally, we'll share some cultural tips about online interviews. Let's start with the first important moment. Lucas said, I have an online job interview tomorrow, and honestly, I'm a bit nervous.
This is a great and very natural sentence. I'm a bit nervous is a soft and polite way to say you feel anxious. You can also say, I'm a little nervous, or I feel a bit anxious. For example, I'm a bit nervous about my English test.
Then Sarah answered, That's completely normal.
This is a very supportive phrase. You can use it to make someone feel better. For example, I'm nervous about my presentation. That's completely normal.
Another great moment is when Sarah said, Always test your connection before.
This is very practical. Always shows strong advice. You can also say, always check your email before a meeting, or always prepare before an interview.
Lucas asked, what about clothes?
This is a very common structure. What about is used to introduce a new topic. For example, what about the time? Or what about the location?
Sarah said, dress like it's a real interview.
This is a very useful tip and also a great sentence structure. Dress like means you follow a style. Example, dress like a professional, or dress like you are going to a meeting.
Another important phrase, sorry, could you repeat that please?
This is essential for learners. It's polite and simple. You can also say, can you say that again? Or, sorry, I didn't understand.
Lucas said, I don't want to sound like a robot.
That's a very interesting expression. Sound like a robot means speaking without emotion or naturally. You can also say, I want to sound natural.
And finally, Sarah said, you've got this.
This is a very motivational phrase. It means you can do it. You can use it with friends. For example, good luck, you've got this.
Now let's talk about some important words from the dialogue. These are words you should really know.
The first word is connection. In this context, it means your internet connection. For example, my connection is slow today. The opposite could be offline when you don't have internet.
Another important word is background. This means what people see behind you. For example, your background looks clean. A messy background can look unprofessional.
Next word is confident. This is very important. If you are confident, you believe in yourself. Example, she is confident in interviews. The opposite is insecure.
We also have prepare. This means to get ready. For example, I prepare my answers before the interview. You can also say get ready, which is more informal.
Another key word is experience. This means your past work or activities. Example, I have experience in sales. It's a very common word in interviews.
Let's talk about strength. This is something you are good at. For example, my strength is communication. The opposite could be weakness.
And finally, deadline. This is the time limit to finish something. Example, I always meet deadlines. This is very important in professional contexts.
Now let's talk about some cultural tips. This part is very important because interviews can be different depending on the country.
Yes, for example, in many countries, being on time is not enough. You should be early. Joining the call 5 to 10 minutes before is a great idea.
Also, saying thank you after the interview is very common, especially in the United States and Europe.
Yes, sending a short message like thank you for your time can make a big difference.
Another interesting point is eye contact. In online interviews, looking at the camera is very important. It shows confidence and attention.
And don't forget about smiling. In some cultures, smiling is very important to show friendliness and openness.
Also, asking questions at the end is not just okay, it's expected.
Exactly. If you don't ask questions, it may look like you're not interested. Simple questions like, what are the next steps, are perfect.
And one last tip, be yourself. Companies want to know who you are, not just your skills.
That's right. Be honest, be polite, and stay calm.
Keep practicing, keep improving, and don't give up.
You're doing great. Learn something new every day.
Now we are going to give you some useful model sentences. These will help you build your own answers during an online job interview.
Yes, the idea here is simple. You don't need complicated English. You need clear and useful sentences that you can actually use.
Let's start with a very common situation, when the interviewer asks you to introduce yourself. You can say, I studied business and I have experience in sales. I enjoy working with people.
You can change this easily. For example, I studied marketing and I have experience in social media. I like learning new skills.
Keep it simple. Just talk about your studies, your experience, and something you like.
Now, if they ask, why do you want this job? You can say, I like your company because it focuses on teamwork and innovation.
Another option, I want this job because I want to grow and learn more.
If you feel nervous, you can simplify. I like this company. I want to learn here.
Now let's talk about strengths. You can say, I am organized and responsible. I always meet deadlines.
Or you can say, I learn fast and I work well in a team.
Try to add a small example. I am organized. I always plan my tasks.
If you don't understand a question, don't panic. You can say, sorry, could you repeat that please?
Or even simpler, sorry, I didn't understand.
And if you are very nervous, you can use very basic phrases like, this one please, or yes, I understand.
If you need time to think, you can say, let me think for a moment.
That's very natural. Native speakers use it all the time.
At the end of the interview, when they ask if you have questions, you can say, yes, what are the next steps?
Or you can say, what does a typical day look like?
These questions show interest and professionalism.
And don't forget a polite ending. Thank you for your time. It was great to talk with you.
This makes a very good final impression.
So today, we talked about something very important: how to do well in an online job interview.
Yes, let's quickly remember what you learned. You saw how to prepare your space, test your internet, dress properly, and speak clearly.
You also learned useful sentences like how to ask for repetition, how to answer common questions, and how to finish the interview politely.
And don't forget the cultural tips, like being early, smiling, and asking questions at the end.
Now, let me ask you something. Are you really preparing for your next opportunity?
Or are you waiting and hoping things will just happen?
What if your next interview is the one that can change your life?
Will you be ready, or nervous and unprepared?
The difference is simple: practice.
Practice your English every day. Speak, listen, repeat, and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
You don't need to be perfect, you just need to start.
So, tell us in the comments, have you ever done an online interview? How was it?
And if you haven't, are you ready for your first one?
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this episode with a friend who is also learning English.
Keep practicing.
Keep improving.
And take care.